Before you scroll, before you skip, before you assume this is just another story, please listen to me for 30 seconds. If there is one person in your life right now you love, one person you argue with, one person you say, "I'll talk to them later" about, this message is for you. My name is Janet Rogers. I am 85 years old. And I would give anything, absolutely anything, to go back and listen just one more time. Most people think regret comes from things we did wrong. They're mistaken. The deepest regret comes from the moments we were present, but not listening. I didn't understand that until it was too late. Let me take you back. I grew up in a quiet town, the kind of place where doors stayed unlocked and everyone waved even if they didn't know your name. Life wasn't loud, but emotions were. We just didn't talk about them. Back then, love wasn't something you discussed. You showed it by staying, by working, by enduring. You didn't ask how someone felt. You assumed they'd be fine. That's how I learned to love. Or at least, how I thought love worked. I met my husband when I was 19 years old. He had a calm voice. Not soft. Calm. The kind that made you feel safe just hearing it. He listened. Really listened. When I spoke, he didn't interrupt. He didn't rush me. He didn't try to win the conversation. I mistook his silence for strength, and my own talking for connection. We married young. We were hopeful. And like every young couple, we believed time was endless. Time is a lie we all believe. Years passed faster than I noticed. Work replaced conversation. Routine replaced curiosity. Comfort replaced attention. We talked, but only about life, never about us. How was work? Fine. Dinner? Yes. We were together, but slowly drifting into separate worlds. I didn't notice at first. Love doesn't disappear loudly. It fades quietly. In the pauses. In the things left unsaid. In the sighs you ignore because you're tired. I was always tired. Too tired to listen. Too tired to ask deeper questions. Too tired to notice he was growing quieter. I told myself, this is just how marriage is. That lie cost me everything. One evening, I remember it clearly. We were sitting at the kitchen table. The clock was ticking loudly. The kind of ticking you only hear when nobody is speaking. He looked at me, opened his mouth, then stopped. I didn't look up from what I was doing. He tried again. "Janet." I sighed. Not because I didn't love him, but because I assumed he would still be there tomorrow. I said, "Can we talk later? I'm exhausted." I didn't know those words would echo in my mind for the rest of my life, because later never came. Here's something no one tells you when you're young. Love doesn't die from anger. It dies from being unheard. People don't leave because of one big argument. They leave after thousands of small moments where they felt invisible. I didn't see it happening. I thought love was automatic, that if two people cared, everything would survive. But love is fragile. It needs attention. It needs listening. And listening is not waiting for your turn to speak. Listening is stopping your world to enter someone else's. I never learned that in time. Now, at 85, my house is quiet. Too quiet. I sit by the window most evenings and think about all the conversations I rushed through, all the emotions I dismissed, all the chances I assumed would repeat. If you are watching this right now, and someone has ever said to you, "Can you just listen to me?" Please don't brush it off. One day, silence will answer for them. If you're still here, thank you. That tells me something about you. It means you've loved someone deeply, or you're afraid of losing them. This part of my story is harder to tell, because this is where I ignored the signs. After that night at the kitchen table, life continued as usual. That's the dangerous thing about problems that grow quietly. Nothing explodes. Nothing ends suddenly. Everything just keeps going. My husband still went to work. I still made dinner. We still shared the same bed. But something invisible had changed. He spoke less. Not in an angry way, not in a dramatic way. Just less. When someone stops complaining, it doesn't mean they're fine. It often means they've given up. I didn't know that then. He started doing things alone. Long walks in the evening, sitting outside longer than usual, staring at nothing.
I noticed, but I didn't ask. I told myself, he's just tired. He's thinking. He'll talk when he's ready. That was my mistake. People don't talk when they're ready. They talk when they feel safe. And I was no longer making him feel safe enough to open up. One afternoon, he said something that should have stopped me cold. We were folding laundry. He held one of my sweaters in his hands and said quietly, "Do you ever feel like we're strangers now?" I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because I didn't know how to answer. I said, "You're overthinking. This is just how long marriages are." That sentence still hurts to remember, because what I was really saying was, your feelings are inconvenient. He nodded slowly, and that was the moment he stopped trying. Here's something I want you to understand. When someone brings up emotional distance, they are not attacking you. They are begging you to notice them, before they disappear inside themselves. I missed that plea. Weeks passed, then months. The house felt colder, even in summer. Meals became quieter. Eye contact became rare. We coexisted perfectly, and loved each other terribly. I thought stability meant success, but love without listening becomes loneliness, even when you share the same room. One night, I woke up and noticed he wasn't beside me. I found him sitting in the living room, lights off, just sitting there. I asked, "Why are you awake?" He said, "I couldn't sleep." That was all. I went back to bed. Do you see the pattern? He kept opening doors. I kept walking past them. People think love fails because of betrayal or anger, but most love stories end because of neglect. Not cruelty, neglect. The quiet kind that feels harmless, until one day you realize you're alone, even though someone is sitting right next to you. A few days later, something happened that changed everything. Something small, something ordinary, and that's what makes it terrifying. If you're still watching, I need you to hear this part carefully, because this is the moment where silence almost cost me everything. It was an ordinary morning. That's how most life-changing moments arrive. Quietly, without warning. I was in the kitchen, making tea. The kettle was whistling. The sunlight came through the window just right. And for a moment, everything looked normal. Then I heard a sound. A dull thud. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just enough to make my heart pause. I found him on the floor. Sitting. Not unconscious. Not bleeding. Just sitting there, leaning against the wall, breathing slowly. I rushed to him and asked, "What happened?" He looked up at me with tired eyes and said, "I felt dizzy." That's all. 2 words. But something in his voice was different. Not fear. Resignation. At the hospital, the doctor said it wasn't serious. Stress. Exhaustion. Emotional strain. That last part hit me like a punch. Emotional strain. From what? From work? From age? No. From us. While he slept in that stiff hospital bed, I sat beside him and watched his chest rise and fall. And for the first time in years, I really looked at him. The lines on his face had deepened. His hair was thinner. His hands trembled slightly. This wasn't the strong man I married. This was someone tired of carrying everything alone. And I realized something terrifying. I knew his routines. I knew his favorite food. I knew his habits. But I didn't know his heart anymore. That night, he woke up and found me crying. He reached for my hand and said, "You don't have to pretend anymore." That sentence broke me. Because he was right. I had been pretending everything was fine. Because I was afraid of what I might hear if I asked. I finally asked the question I had avoided for years. "Are you unhappy?" He didn't answer immediately. He stared at the ceiling and said, "I don't feel seen. Not unloved. Not hated. Unseen." That word stayed with me, because being unseen hurts more than being alone. He told me how lonely he felt even sitting beside me. How he stopped sharing his thoughts because I brushed them off. How he felt like an accessory in my life, not a partner. And the worst part? He wasn't angry. He was calm. And calm is dangerous, because it often comes after hope has died. I apologized. But apologies without change are empty. So I did something I had never done before. I listened. Not to respond. Not to defend myself. Not to explain. Just to listen. And the more he spoke, the more I realized. Love doesn't disappear suddenly. It fades when one person keeps talking, and the other keeps surviving. That hospital room became our confession booth. Years of unsaid words spilled out. Regrets. Fears. Missed chances. And for the first time in a long time, we were honest. Painfully honest. But honesty doesn't guarantee forgiveness. And listening doesn't erase damage. As we left the hospital, he said something that terrified me. "I don't know if it's too late." Those words haunted me, because love isn't about how long you've been together. It's about whether both hearts are still fighting. Before I continue, let me say this clearly. If someone you love is still alive, you still have time. I almost didn't. When we got home from the hospital, the house felt different. Same walls. Same furniture. Same silence. But now the silence had weight. We sat at opposite ends of the couch, closer than strangers, farther than lovers. And for the first time in decades, I was afraid of losing him. Not to death. To distance. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying his words, "I don't feel seen." So I did something uncomfortable. I asked myself a hard question. When was the last time I truly chose him? Not out of habit, not out of duty, but out of love. I couldn't remember. The next morning, I made a decision. Not a grand gesture, not a dramatic promise, a small one. I told him, "Tell me something you've never said out loud." He looked surprised. Then he said, "I don't think you'd care." That hurt, because I had earned that doubt. But I said, "Try me." What followed wasn't romantic. It was raw. He told me about dreams he buried because he thought they were too late. About how he felt invisible even when sitting right beside me. About how he stopped asking for attention because rejection hurts more than silence. And I listened. Really listened. No interrupting. No fixing. No excuses. Just presence. That day became our turning point. Not because everything healed instantly, but because we finally showed up. I stopped multitasking when he spoke. I stopped assuming I knew what he felt. I stopped waiting for the right moment to care. Because love doesn't need the perfect moment. It needs intention. Weeks passed. Something shifted. We laughed again, awkwardly at first. We shared meals without distractions. We took short walks, slow ones, hand in hand. Not because we were young, but because we chose to be close again. Then one evening, he said something I'll never forget. He said, "I feel like I got my wife back." That sentence erased years of regret. But it also taught me something painful. Love doesn't die from big fights. It dies from neglect. Now I'm 85. And here's the truth I learned too late. Love isn't about staying. It's about seeing. Listening when it's inconvenient. Caring before it's urgent. Choosing someone even when life gets loud. If you love someone right now, put your phone down. Ask how they really are. Listen, even if it's uncomfortable. Because one day, you might only wish you had. If this story touched you, don't ignore it. Someone in your life needs to feel seen today. And if you're still here, thank you for listening. This is a lesson it took me 85 years to understand.